Hey, it's Mark, and it's time for another live stop motion chat show. And we have these live chat shows every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, GMT -6. And so tonight's show, I lined up a few things to watch. So for those of you who visit our website and are interested in, of course, claymation and stop motion, we do have our monthly challenges, and I just want to sort of recap that. Yes, the latest challenge we have will end on November 11th. Let me disconnect my phone here. Okay. So the next live. Let's see what happens upstairs. I hope nobody tries to give me the phone. So the topic for this month is Under the Sea. And so, of course, last time Jim Reeve won the last challenge. And so he chose the topic. And already Clay Mara, I believe, submitted one of her films already. Already for our monthly challenge. So and there were a couple of questions actually. So let me see here. Let me see. I just done a lot with underwater things. I'll be making something different for this challenge. Is it okay, for example, if I have a character design and I bring back the character every time in the monthly challenges? So yeah, I think that's fine. Like if you guys are out there and you want to, hey Jason is here. If you guys have a character that you want to reuse for every single challenge, if it's appropriate to use that character, that should be okay. So I don't know if anybody else out there was wondering the same thing. So Jason also asks, I'm in the process of brainstorming, and it occurred to me to ask, are the monthly challenges all clay, mostly clay, or any material goes? And for the monthly challenges, you can use any material, and as long as it's stop motion animated. So that's only that, the condition that everybody has to follow is it has to be stop motion. And some live action is probably okay too. You can probably mix in live action, but there has to be a stop motion component to it. So as long as you guys stick to that, then that's fine. So we've got let's see, the 11th is let's see, 4/11, so about 2 weeks away before our challenge is done, or until it has to be submitted. So when that happens, of course, we'll watch every single entry on our live show. All right, so moving along, we just added these last night to our online store, and a lot of people out there were really interested in the Ray Harryhausen armor creature kits. And I don't know if anybody out there watching this has been interested in those kits. But what happened to them was Animation Toolkit, the company, I guess, is not associating their kits with Ray Harryhausen's name anymore. And I don't know why, or maybe there's a reason in terms of financial reason or something, or maybe just a rebranding reason, because they basically taken their armor creature tins where they used to have a round sticker that said Ray Harryhausen presents the armor creature, and this is the actual kit. There's nothing different between this and the last, but it's been rebranded. Now Jason says, I've got an idea using clay, but I've been going slowly so far in terms of the monthly challenges. Yeah, sometimes getting ideas is the hardest thing for animation. That's usually what takes me the longest. I've got a lot of stories written down, for projects, and it's like, which project do I do? My mind kind of wanders, and I get new ideas, and I change things, and before you know it, I usually end up making something too complicated to make as a film. I mean, that's my biggest problem. But so, but anyways, I don't know about you, Jason, but that for me is a big issue where my imagination takes me almost too far sometimes. But so the animation toolkit, Monster Tin Anibild 3 Professional Armature is what Wesley Wood from Animation Toolkit is calling these kits. And they're really good kits, and you can see on our webpage the joints, and this is actually, in terms of the strength of these joints, they're the strongest joints in any armature kit that we sell. They're also a bit heavier than most armature kit joints because they're thicker. They're made from machined aluminum parts and steel, and these kits are there's as with any kit, there's good points and bad points. The good points are that it's once you build it, it's super strong. Jason is saying too complicated is my issue right now too. Yeah, I get way too complex, and it's almost like these armature kits. I think sometimes a simple kit is better than a complicated kit because it's like you can make something faster. And actually, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But about simplicity is not always bad. These armature kits are actually great, but never let your financial situation prevent you from doing stop motion, because it doesn't need to be expensive. And although this is an awesome kit, you can definitely get by with wire if you really need to. Even like toys, you can alter toys to make stop motion puppets. But anyway, so the Ray Harryhausen armor creature is now called the Monster Tin, and it's actually a cheaper price. It used to be $165, now it's $154, so a little cheaper price. So you guys have already seen those kits. Also, the Anibild 1 basic armature for $23 is a simple wire armature kit, and you can see here what it looks like. And it's got a head block where you can attach. You can use clay on this. You could use foam of some sort. You could use potentially silicone if you wanted to. I don't know if I would build a silicone puppet with wire inside. It might not be a bad idea, but it's a very flexible kit, and that's what's one of the great things about these kits is their flexibility, because it's wire. But it doesn't come with any bones, as you can see. There's no way to create a upper leg, lower leg, forearm, upper arm. So you could actually take something like what would it be, like maybe pro epoxy, like an auto body epoxy, 2 parts, and apply that. You could use tubing, like aluminum tubes. Hey, Dean, welcome to the show. It's a little bit quiet in here tonight. I think everybody's out there getting ready for Halloween or something. But so we were just looking at these kits, and so this one here, we've sold this before as well. This is not a new kit; it's just rebranded, just Anibild 1 Basic, and but it's not a bad kit. It's only $23. And also there's the let me see, the Anibild 2 Intermediate. Okay, and these new kits from Animation Toolkit. Let me see here. This is actually a new product where I think they're using the previously called Harryhausen Prevents Armor Creature feet/hand parts here. They're repurposing those for these kits, but these parts here are newly designed by Wes from that company, and so I've not used these myself for animation. Like I said, I just got these from Wes, and offered to sell them to the United States and Canada for him. And but this one here is really a good one, and this is $122. It's the Anibild 3 Professional Armature Kit, and it seems to be really good. Like I hope that if people buy these, we'll get some testimonials or feedback, because, like I said, I can't afford to buy all these myself and use them. Oh, okay. Is it time change, huh? That's always an issue. I know Nick Hilligoss from Australia is always mentioning how he's got to keep tabs on, what time zone is changing and all that kind of stuff, because they always do this daylight savings time thing in America, and unless they've done it today and I'm unaware of it, because I know it's fall, right? So it would be you fall back an hour. And Jason says, I'd love to see how those armatures feel to use. Now this one here, like I say, it seems to be repurposing some parts from the Armor Creature slash Monster Tin puppet, because it looks like what the main difference is, I believe, this area here, the hip, the wrists, and there's some like some grabby points here. So if you have a puppet where you have a lot of foam and you need to grab the puppet, and sometimes grabbing it without a chest block, or a large chest block or a large hip block, is really difficult. So what they've done is they've added these little extensions which you can grab, so that's kind of nice. The hands are also different than the Harryhausen, or I keep saying Harryhausen, but they don't call it that anymore. The Monster Tin kit. It looks pretty good, and I think one of the I don't like to be negative about, of course, these are products I'm selling myself, but I would probably go, if I were going to buy one of these, would go with the Anibild 3, because I noticed on the Anibild 2, one of the things that I noticed from an animation perspective is this is not a badly designed armature by any means, but I think that this sort of waist area, the hip slash waist, whatever you want to call this, I guess the waist, is, to me, this joint I would think should be larger. That's the only thing I noticed on these kits, and maybe it's strong enough, just as it is. Might be strong enough just like that, but it depends on your design. Like if you were to make a large fat character with a lot of foam, or even like a silicone body, I think this would not work. I think that would not work. But if you're making something like Jack Skellington, actually that's awesome, right? Because you want it to be small. You don't want it to be clunky. So the Anibild 3, I would say, is a better design. Definitely a better design, and you're getting what you pay for, essentially. So here it is. Larger hip area, larger waist area, something you can grab and so forth. Maybe a little bit stronger as well. And the wrist, the wrist has got 2 balls, so that could be a plus or a negative. It just depends on, it really depends on what you're designing, what you're trying to do. Hey, Andreas. So Dean is saying the UK went back an hour at the weekend. Yeah, you guys are always ahead of us, aren't you? I think you're GMT 0, right? So we're technically, I guess, 6. Oh no, wait. Yeah, when do we do that? Wonder what date we go back. It's all based on government, statistics and stuff, depending on where you live. They always have some reason why they change the time at a certain time of year, But all right. So anyway, I just wanted to show that to you guys. New products that seem exciting. If you guys are in the looking for something to use for your puppets. All right, so now, like as I was saying before, those are some nice kits, but it doesn't always require a lot of money to make stop motion puppets, and some people actually get by, making puppets out of simple things like wire. And a lot of people go, well, how can you make a good stop motion puppet out of wire? That it has a lot of springiness to it and memory. And that's partially true. It's hard to make a puppet that is robust if it's made from wire. It'll last for a lot of shots. But if there's any like little scratches in the wire, or you use a tool and you accidentally ding the wire, a lot of times the wire will get weak in that spot. It's almost like having a crack in a dam where one little spot can expand really large once the water starts to shoot through the hole, right? Same thing with wire. When you have a small nick or scratch, when you bend it back and forth, that little weak spot is where you've sort of cracked it on a microscopic scale, but it just gets worse and worse every time you bend it. So you do have to be careful, but if you're careful, a wire armature is excellent. It's more flexible than ball and socket armatures for the most part. You can bend them 360 degrees, and they're lightweight and they're easy to modify. They're fast to build. And I believe I believe Nick used a wire armature for this. So Nick Hilligoss, usually he joins the show. Maybe he'll pop in as we play this and can leave some feedback. But this is a almost 5-minute long video of a very awesome puppet for a film called Dark Earth by Peter Montgomery. And Peter wrote to me recently sharing this video, and I had posted it on our Facebook fan page, so you might have seen it. But it's really exciting. Playing here, he's using a spray adhesive before he puts the foam on there, just so you guys know. So yeah, so you can basically use wire, of course, for puppet making, and foam latex, and just you can use the build-up method. You could Nick could have actually even just coated the inside of that mold with liquid latex, and then glued foam to the inside, and skip the whole foaming process. So like I say, it's an awesome puppet, and it doesn't cost a lot. So let me see here. Jason's asking, what did he put over the fingers? He used an automotive epoxy. What he did is he cast the fingers, and there were claws on there. And he cast that in latex. And I guess he didn't like it the way it turned out, so he cut the latex off of the wire that he had, and applied just the like epoxy putty. And Jason says, having music like that in my head would definitely make my puppet making faster. Yeah, Dean says it could be Nick's alarm tone. But so that's pretty awesome. And his paint job, he didn't show how he painted all of this, but I'm sure he used maybe like an airbrush and some dry brushing methods or something here as well to get the paint scheme just right. It's really reminiscent of something like a Phil Tippett puppet. Really exciting, really awesome job. And Andre said, I would love to animate a puppet like that. Yeah, me too. That'd be so fun. All right. Now, moving forward. Matt S. Less, you means, posted this on YouTube, and in the description it says, I propose a version of a Russian reportage that I found on the net. It was realized on the set of Hoffmaniada Stanaslav Sokolov. The film should be released in 2016, but the story has another advantage. It explains all the main techniques of stop motion. This report is mounted so that it does not need a voice. I deleted the Russian comments and put a royalty-free music above. The choice of music is debatable, I agree, but if I allowed myself to borrow the film on Russian television to show you, is that it seems really interesting for those who discover and love this technique. So here it is, and I don't really know much about this project, to be honest, other than the fact that this is about 24 minutes long, so it might take up the rest of the show to watch, but it's really awesome, and so let's watch it together. Let's see here. See if it works. So that was Essential Principles of Stop Motion in 24 minutes. And so it was called Hoffmaniada Stanaslav Sokolov. So I could probably put this in Google and see if there's any information on it. I'm not really sure if there is. Oh, so there's actually there's quite a bit of information on here. Looks like the first 30 minutes are actually on the internet, and we don't have time to watch that, but it looks like let's see, it's from Russia, and the studio is Soyuz Multfilm. I've heard of them before, actually. The concept and all of the art design was done by Mikhail Shemyakin, and it is being created by Stanislav Sokolov. It will be based on the tales of E.T.A. Hoffman. The film will use puppet animation exclusively and will avoid using computer animation for special effects. The first 20 minutes of the film were screened on November 20th, 2006 in St. Petersburg. So it's actually not, it's nothing new. It's been around for a long time, probably. So maybe that might explain partially why the woman in there was not using, a USB controlled. Let me think here. When did Stop Motion Pro and Dragon Frame allow for camera manipulation? I think it would have been later than that, because I think the Canon EOS 60D and those cameras were some of the first to allow for computers to manipulate the camera through USB. So possibly that's one of the reasons why. But okay, I remember this now. So yeah, they had financial problems, and in November 2008, the article said the necessary money was finally given by the government. That's right. So I guess we've talked about this film before on the live show, but I've never seen any a lot of footage of it. And it was based around the three of the Hoffman's tales, which is Klein Zatches and the Golden Pot and the Sandman, which the Sandman, I guess, was animated by Paul Berry back in the 90s. So that's neat. It says here the first 30 minutes are actually online, so you guys can watch this if you would like. You would just have to search Hoffmaniada, Hoffmaniada, and I'm gonna watch this later on. Actually, I'm not gonna watch it now, but pretty awesome. And it seems like the tie downs for the feet that they used were just nails, but they made their sets out of some sort of foam. And it seems like they even put like a fabric over the foam to make it look like carpeting and so forth. So, and it worked. I mean, they used like nails that were maybe 2 inches, 3 inches long, just to hold those puppets. And Dean is saying he would really like to see the whole film. It looks great. And Jason says it isn't finished, lack of money. Oh, okay. I thought it was... maybe I misread that. I thought it said that the government gave them the funds, but maybe they're still working on it. And Juan says, well, I've been working on a video, for example, and it's most the like of doing it than what they paid me, for example. Yeah, Juan, I know you've been working on that. And I know you sent me some footage of that. Maybe if you want, for next week we could review that. I don't know. Depends on what your client thinks. Could you release any of that that footage publicly for your video? And Dean says, I think I may just go watch that. Yeah. You want a little bit of a teaser? Let's go to a little bit forward here. And they used a lot of 2D elements. Like, did you guys notice the fire in the fireplace? They must have, pre-animated it on paper, and then they cut it out and colored it and used it as a replacement system, which is kind of neat. Okay, here's a small teaser, and I guess we saw some of this, some of these, like the feather, which either they've expertly lit the string, or they've digitally removed the string from the shot. But yeah, this is a cool film. Kind of Victorian. It's got English subtitles too. That's nice. So you can understand it if you don't speak Russian. Which I don't speak Russian, so this would be something that... And the animation's great, and I saw like their armatures, which were brass plates and steel balls, and the brass plates didn't seem very strong, but I think the fact that they're using lightweight puppets, I'm pretty sure they're just using foam under here and fabric, and it seems to hold up pretty well. I mean, the animation is smooth, and if the armatures failed, you wouldn't be able to get such good motion. So this is interesting. They've got this sort of... So the first 30 minutes, I guess, is not technically completed, because what they're doing here is these are animatics. Obviously they had to build all these sets and do the animation. But wow, that would be a very complicated shot right there. Very complicated, unless this is a transitional scene in the film where they want it to look this way. Which maybe that's the case, because it is pretty stylized. But that is your teaser. So you guys, if you want to watch the whole thing, look up Hoffmaniada, Hoffmaniada, and check it out. I'm tempted to watch more. So yeah, the mouths were definitely not made on a 3D printer. Definitely not. They would have sculpted each one on this film, which is actually, in some ways that's not a bad thing, I'm kind of in favor of the sculpted. I mean, I'm watching some of Alba Garcia's work, and she's using I don't think she's using Shapeways, but it's a 3D printing company to print replacement faces. And maybe what I can do just quickly, I'm going to bring that up since I'm talking about it. Where is it? Here, and Dangerously Ever After. And you can see, what a 3D printed face looks like, and this body is silicone and so forth, and there's some translucency and so forth to the face, a little bit similar to the silicone. Now I think there's, let me go up here. Let me go down. Now she has a close-up, I believe, of the face. Here it is. Is this it, or... Ah, here we go. This is the one. Let's see if I can expand this. So the 3D printed faces are nice, but if you recall on films like Paranorman, they would have had how many thousands of faces, and they had people that would sand all those little lines off there. And I don't know if I like the textured look. It looks kind of like tree bark or something, or like a wood texture. Not necessarily bad, but it's not something I personally like, So I would probably sand these faces with sandpaper, and wow, that would take forever, But if you sculpt this or you print it out, you can make a mold and just change the face if you wanted to. The mouth, change the mouth position by resculpting it. And that's what they did on James and the Giant Peach, similar to the Russian film we just watched, where they would sort of carve out this area with the tool, or sand it or melt it out, and then put clay in there, and then reshape it, and then make another mold, So it's complex. 3D printing takes the mold making process out of it, but you have all these artifacts and stuff. Juan says it actually seems to have stop motion ahead. Ralph and Juan says Ralph Baskin was all sculpted in wood, even though the animation was mainly done in Japan. Yeah, and even George Powell used to sculpt a lot of the Puppet Tunes heads out of wood and then paint them. But each process has a different look to it. Just depends on what you're after in terms of time savings, in terms of your flexibility, in terms of how much of emotion you want, emotion in the face or expression, and how you solve that. But there's no right or wrong in stop motion, though. But yeah, this project is really exciting. I hope that and here's the 3D sculpture in what program is that again? Blender 3D. So you can kind of see what it looks like before it's printed. Looks nice and smooth. Now it is 9 o'clock. I want to talk some more, though. I'm going to go over my time limit a little bit. Just because I want to mention to anyone out there, I know 3D printing is not the most popular thing, but I did talk about this, I guess, last week. Tinkercad, where you can build stuff within. I'm not going to open that. You can build stuff in here, like feet for armatures or other parts. And I do want to mention to you guys that there is a printer out there that is extremely affordable, where you can print stuff from this website. You can save the files, and you can save them to your computer and then upload them to a 3D printer. And there's a printer out there, and this printer is actually an excellent printer. It is not SLA, which means that it does have a sort of issue with leaving those lines, like we just looked at in that face that Alba Garcia printed for her project. And it's called the PrinterBot Play, and this guy here, he reviews it. His name is Thomas Sanladerer. And he says, review the PrinterBot Play. And this is the cheapest possible printer with the best quality that I've seen out there. And I believe this may not work here. Plug that in here and see if I can bring it up. Store Play 4x4 by 5-inch printer, and you can get it for $400, and it comes with a roll of PLA plastic. Right now, that's the cheapest printer you can buy currently with good quality. And I just want to show you guys this real quick. And this review, I'm just going to get to the part where he shows the results and play it for you guys, because I think you might find this exciting for making armature parts for yourself, particularly for wire kits, wire armatures.
Machine up and move it around while printing without affecting the printing results too much. And boy, does it print well. And that's not just good for a $400 printer, but I've seen printers that cost 4 times as much and didn't print this well. Look at this. This is my Play's very first print using the included clear PLA and the stock Cura profile for the simple maker's kit. So basically for the wrong printer too, but those two are similar enough to the slicer to be interchangeable. Before printing this, the only thing I adjusted was the nozzle height over the bed surface, which is done in the firmware. Everything else like extrusion width, speeds, extruder calibration and such were completely untouched. And this print looks better than what my main printer, a big custom Mendel 90, produces. It's not quite as super consistent as, say, an Ultimaker or one of the other highest end machines, but it's more than impressive for, again, an entry-level printer. things like overhangs, bridges, corner sharpness, surface quality, small detail reproduction, and all that kind of stuff. That's all there up to par right out of the box. The version of the Play I have here still uses a classic UBIS hardened, but I've heard that the Play and the rest of Printabot's lineup will eventually be upgraded to an all-metal
I just want
UBIS.
to show the quality of it for
printer
$400.
carriage.
You know, it's a pretty nice printer. For parts that you would not necessarily see, you know, you wouldn't want to probably print out, you know, really intricate faces and things like that. But for internal armature parts, and you know, especially for wire armatures, if you're building, you know, blocks for shoulders or anything like that, or even like tubes for arms to bend and so forth. It seems like a really sturdy printer, and you can see here this guy even stands on it. And I thought, wow, you know, for a $400 printer, something that strong and pretty decent quality, seems like something that some of us could actually afford to buy. You know, save up a few paychecks and you know, you can print stuff, and could be really helpful for stop motion. So anyway, with that, everybody, that does conclude our live show for the week. Next week we're gonna of course have another live show. That will be on the 4th, November the 4th, and I think, let me see. Yeah, I'm thinking of something, but I'm not going to mention it this week. I'll mention it next week. So anyway, thanks you guys for stopping by. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them below this video after it's over. And I will see you guys later on. Adios.